You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings.
Why are you listening to this show?
The podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
Welcome to the Big Suey. More national in scope, but last night was a pretty terrible night down here in South Florida sports. I'm glad you asked. There was a heartbreaking close loss in Kentucky for the blue-blooded Miami Hurricanes. That'll happen. A slight bump in the road. That'll happen to blue blood programs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you lose a close game in Kentucky, you move on with your season.
You cost me money.
Credit to Kentucky. They made all their shots.
Right.
Did you know that Reed Shepherd's parents were at that game? Had no clue.
Man, oh man, did the entire storyline, and I imagine Kentucky, do they love just the look of Shepard, just the look of him?
Yeah, but a lot of upside down news. But again, close loss. You can't hold that against them.
22 points, Mike.
I mean, that's a couple possessions. Florida Panthers, a tough one north of the border. They get a point. That's difficult, but they had actually won the game on a penalty shot. But there was a video review that ruled, I think correctly, that Rodriguez hit the puck twice. You can't hit the penalty shot twice. There's a Rodriguez with an S at the end. And then Toronto goes on to win.
It still counts.
Sure. What does?
Tony, it still counts. What's the matter?
Something about una seta.
Put it on the poll, please. Is there something about una seta?
But the national TNT game featured a local team in the Miami Heat. I cannot tell you the grudge that I am now harboring against Jimmy Butler for not toughing it out for the in-season tournament.
He should be ashamed of himself. Seriously, a game that big with all those stakes, an IST game, and he sits out. I mean,
I think yesterday, with everything that was going on with the in-season tournament, showed why it's not a bad idea. Because you can hate on it all you want. Last night in the NBA was made vastly more interesting because of the in-tournament stakes that we have assigned to it. Because yes, this is not only a loss against the Milwaukee Bucks, which, God, I hate going up against Damian Lillard in crunch time when I'm throwing Josh Richardson at him. Like, that is just not the future I envision for myself entering this season.
That was a great basketball game. That was a fun basketball game. That game had a ton of energy on it. Bam is playing out of his mind.
I'm very happy with my Defensive Player of the Year ticket. There is not a lot of big men that can come out to the top of the three-point line and ISO up Damian Lillard.
That was crazy. To watch that was Mike, I know he's done it. I'm not going to get used to it. I'm not going to normalize that Bam makes it so that Damian Lillard can't get a shot off when I'm already disoriented by the lack of normal and Shaq's yelling the last 7 minutes of the game. Here is when you go through Lillard. Giannis, get out of the way. Lillard, the rest of the way. And then they put Bam on him. That game was exceptionally fun. And on top of everything else, because this part, to me, symbolically, is just 4 our times amazing. The idea that you have to incentivize with yet more money for these guys to play with an intensity that isn't load management and that brings the crowd fever to a place where it feels it's like something between playoff basketball and regular season basketball, because it's a playoff game Jimmy Butler would have been playing.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
well said.
Again, to focus on Bam, because we have kind of become accustomed to him being able to do that. This is, in our lifetimes, one of the greatest clutch performers ever in Damian Lillard, a guy that is known to be able to get his shot off from anywhere on the court, especially in those moments. And for him to not be able to get a shot off, to have it stuffed by Bam, who picked him up at the three-point line, crazy athletic. I don't understand when I look at the odds of Defensive Player of the Year, how he's like 4th or 5th. It just boggles the mind. But that was a great game. Jaquez got some national recognition. Everyone knows that this kid, he's a little bit older than your standard rookie, but this kid has got a ton of promise, has a big body, fits the Heat culture, quotes, quite well. But I was really pissed off that we didn't see Jimmy Butler there. I thought for sure he'd turn it on and rub some dirt on it for this big game. That really stunk. And also, you should fear the Bucks because Chris Middleton becoming their third player, their third best player in those moments is killer.
Mike, I'm glad you brought up Jaime Jaquez Jr.
He has the Zeta.
He has the Zeta. But he has something else, and I'm ready to make an announcement here and now for Real Hooper Nation.
Okay. What is that?
Oh, wow, an announcement.
He's announcing something.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What is? Are you the president of Real Hooper Nation?
Yeah.
Tony and me are definitely in it.
Real Hoopers Know has a nation, and I am probably the spokesperson for Real Hoopers Nation on this national platform.
Co-chair me.
Mike can maybe be a co-chair. I have to see some of his credentials. The Wemby take is obviously not helping him.
Well, I got a take for you. I'm hoping you got the same take as co-chair.
So, what I was going to say is Jaime Jaquez Jr. is saucy.
Whoa.
Okay. Same take, Mike?
He is saucy.
Well, I co-sign on that, but here's my take.
Okay.
Jaime Jaquez Jr. is the Rookie of the Year.
Oh, come on.
I love that. No, I love that Mike said he's not your standard age for a rookie because he played 4 years in college.
That's right. That's correct.
He's the exact age rookie should be.
Lots changed.
1987, yes. No, not so much.
Less so.
When he drove to the middle of the paint,
He remembers new metal.
He's 22.
Behind the back, little step away fade.
20 also.
That was beautiful. Sauce.
Rookie of the Year.
No, come on.
What do you mean, come on?
That's a good callback.
He's a Rookie of the Year.
You like that one? Thank you, Billy. In your honor, I threw it out there.
I've been onto this Evan Rodriguez, by the way, from Canada. I'm looking into
I mean,
this.
you can be Latino from Canada.
His dad's from Europe, so.
Is he
With an S,
Spanish?
you're not.
Is
Tony,
he Spanish?
Wait, hold on. Tony,
It's Hispanic?
Tony, are you saying no, you cannot be?
I'm saying that the chances of you having a Rodriguez with an S
Right.
is more likely that you're either Brazilian, Portuguese somewhere in that
maybe.
nation,
Okay.
right, in that nationality, more so than it is Hispanic.
Okay.
Because you need the Zeta.
But is he Native American the same way that 5-year-old, is he Hispanic the same way that
Well, he's from
5-year-old?
Canada, so he's not Native American.
Yeah. That is not one you want to
North
fumble your way through, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm Googling Evan Rodriguez, Native American. I don't know what you're going for.
What I was going for is a callback on the joke to the 5-year-old at the Chiefs game.
At least it wasn't a dangerous one.
And I was looking for his actual name because they're claiming he's Native American, but his first name is also Holden, and so I was confused by
I
that.
have no reason not to believe the parents and everything like that. This whole thing makes me so sad and depressed because it's just internet rot brain and it's not a real discussion. Also, we were in a group chat with Pablo, and he correctly pointed out that headdresses in that stadium have been banned since 2020. So, the pivot from the people that have been holding up, and I do agree that the fact that this kid has become the face of something, the kid, a 5-year-old, allegedly, or whatever, a child shouldn't be the face of really anything. I find it wholly unfair, but the franchise and the NFL had banned that garb, regardless of maybe he applies a context at gate check-in, like, no, I'm actually Native American and I'm celebrating my heritage. I don't really care. I don't know how this has become a thing in the year of our Lord 2023, where Deadspin is back in just because it was a headline grabber and you get associated with it because it was a retweet. I'm very confused by all of this. It's all very dumb to me.
Well, but this is the thing about the word dumb, right? Because I found that a lot of these discourses descend into the following, right? Whenever it is that you say internet brain rot or stupid or dumb, whenever someone feels that headed their way conversationally, the defensiveness starts, the fight starts, when you start telling them that their belief system is dumb. And the other thing that's in play here is whenever you throw the word racist around too, that something is racist. The part that's confusing to me about some of this, if you want to actually discuss it honestly, if you want to not do this in bad faith, I remember in the 1990s, Stugotz, at the beginning of the 1990s, I'm at the Atlanta Braves Minnesota Twins World Series. And outside of that World Series, about 9 or 10 people, Native Americans, are protesting the Atlanta Tomahawk chop. And I went over there to just talk to them and then was just made sad that they weren't being heard. And so when this conversation gets this angry, this divisive, when it is being used as a platform for victimhood, Stugotz, like you have right now in Donald Trump, you have somebody who the one thing he hasn't had as a white person is victimhood. And now he wants victimhood too as a platform. When you start trying to take away the power from the powerful that they've already had by simply saying, hey, I object to this, can you hear me out on this? And they hear it as this is offensive, this is stupid, this is racist, and they hear it as an argument. We get to the point where we are now where no one actually wants to discuss this stuff anymore because they're not equal and fair fights. They're not honest fights. They're not honest debates or disagreements.
Wait a second. You were at the Jack Morris game?
I was.
What?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I think
one of the all-time great starts in Major League Baseball history. Perhaps the greatest start in Major League Baseball history. The stakes could not be any higher.
That was your takeaway. I'm going to share my personal experience with this story. I saw it online, and I didn't even notice the face paint. I swear, I just assumed that's that's fan colors, and I just noticed the headdress because I saw two stills. The end zone, which said "end racism," and a child wearing a headdress, which is loaded. And I thought that was the entire thing. And then a couple of days later, I find out that the people that are holding this kid up and making him a victim, which I kind of agree, he is a victim in all of this, they're ignoring the headdress, which is the only thing that I really saw the first time. And the only time that they're actually paying attention to the headdress, and they don't understand this, is, okay, let's take everybody for their word. The child is of Native American ancestry. Oh, well, that absolves it. So you actually see what the issue is here, right?
Yeah.
Now it's convenient that someone is Native American. Well, how could it be offensive if he's Native American? Then you're already conceding that the headdress is an issue if he's not.
The part, though, that is frustrating conversationally about this, and this is the part I won't get, Stugotz, if anybody tells you, hey, I'm sensitive about this is to my people, this is something that's objectionable, I'm not yelling at you about it. Those people protesting outside, this was 30 years ago, Stugotz, outside the Jack Morris game. Like, they were asking, they were requesting.
He tossed 10 shutout innings, man. It was incredible. Not 9, not the standard 9. Jack went 10. He tossed 10 shutout innings in a Game 7 and won the Twins the World Series. I mean, that's when baseball was baseball.
Damn right.
Gene Larkin, a little base hit. I mean, wow.
Gene Larkin?
Yeah.
Folks, listen up. US Cellular wants to help everyone get the gift of connection this holiday season. Already a customer? This applies to you too, because right now, new and current customers can get any phone, and I mean any phone, for free. Yes, free. Sounds like it's time to make the switch. Spread the holiday cheer far and wide this season with a new phone. Everyone can get the gift of connection at US Cellular. Get any phone free today. US Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Batard.
Were you guys building out the A-Rod bathroom of your imaginations? Is that what I heard you discussing during the break?
Towels with an A on them.
You know the thing you slide the toilet paper on? That's a baseball bat.
Hey, like that.
Stugotz.
You think he actually calls it the throne? Probably does.
It's an actual throne.
Yeah.
An actual throne.
There's got to be a full-length mirror in there somewhere.
I imagine somewhere in his house he has a replica of David, but with his head on it.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
The crew from Oddball has thundered into the room. You've got the star of the show, Charlotte Wilder, and also Amin Elhassan is here. Oddball is every day except for Monday. Stugotz, why were you giggling to yourself before the microphones came on here? Were you looking
Just Amin was moving your pants. There was a belt.
Whoa.
I was thinking about belts. I don't wear belts anymore. I don't need a belt. I don't like belts. Belts get in the way.
When you say you don't wear belts anymore, are you saying, have you transitioned to like drawstring pants?
No. Listen, I've arrived at an age where I don't care. If the pants fall down, they fall down. It's just a belt is like one extra thing I don't need. They're not making waist 35-inch waist anymore like they used to. And so I probably need a belt, but I'm not wearing a belt because I've stopped caring about myself.
Can I give you a suggestion where the pants have a belt in them that you never take off?
Get out of here.
You just keep the belt in there.
Wow.
That's the move I have. I have multiple belts. They're already in the jeans. So when I pull out the jeans, I put them on. They already have a belt.
Wow.
I'm not looping any belts anymore.
I'm really embarrassed to say this is killing me, but I wouldn't be an honest journalist if I didn't say I also do this.
Yeah.
Jess is about to be so disappointed. It's good to be back.
You just take your pants off and just leave them there with the belt on?
Yeah.
Yes.
I do too.
What if you have to
There it is.
Wow.
There are dozens of us.
Amazing.
Me too.
Oh!
What? I have separate belts for separate pants.
Yep.
So you have one belt for a specific pair of pants?
Yes.
I love it.
This is so lazy. You can't even unloop the belt from
No.
the belt buckles.
Absolutely
Why?
not.
Like Stugotz said.
You can't fold them and
hassle.
put them away if there's a belt on.
You know
Yes,
what?
you can.
You actually can. Well, actually, no. I do have one pair of pants I have to hang because the belt is too stiff, but the other ones, those fold up real nice.
So you just drop trowel and that's it.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, this morning I forgot to put I put my sneakers on before I put my pants on.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, something feels off.
And you say they're overworking me.
Oddball every day except for Monday. So hold on a second. When did you notice? When in the proceedings did you notice something feels off?
Something's
Please tell me when you walked outside,
No, I
please.
got both shoes on, and I walked over to the bathroom to check that my face was okay, and I was like, I was like, it's cold. It was cold.
I had Charlotte like patting her pockets to make sure she's got her phone and her keys, and like, wait a second, where are my pockets?
Just underpants.
And so it's just skin then it becomes.
You're checking your pockets.
You realize you don't have pants on because you're like, wait a minute, I feel skin. The
Yeah.
Stugotz admission
The
here,
legs
though,
were out.
The Stugotz admission that I find a little practically impossible to believe is if indeed they're not making 34s and 35 waists the way they used to,
Tight.
and you're not wearing a belt, then your pants have to be falling off. Your shorts have to be falling off because if you've outgrown this, your body shape is going to make it so if you're walking around, the belt, the practical purpose of the belt, I know you weren't using it for fashion.
No.
The practical purpose of the belt is
to hold your pants up.
It's needed.
Yes. Yep.
Were you guys like me when I was younger? And this is like a weird admission. I didn't need a belt. My body held my pants up.
I did.
If they were gonna go down, there were things that stopped them from going down.
So I don't need a belt until later in the day.
Hips?
Yeah,
Like,
my
I'm-
hips. Yeah,
Right.
What I meant.
I'm fine without the belt until we hit like noon, 12, 12:30, 1 o'clock. And then if I start walking upstairs, which I never do, I try to avoid stairs at all costs, the pants start falling down. So I'm good until about noon, 1 o'clock. And then in the afternoon, as the jeans start to stretch out a little bit, I wish I had my
But
belt.
it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not the jeans stretching out. It's that you're seated here for 5 hours, not walking around long distances. And if you had to walk more distance, your pants would start falling.
I do really like Dan being like so concerned with the belt while he's dressed like this. He's like, it's
Dressed
the
like
it's
what?
What?
Dressed like what? I don't notice anything different.
Stugotz is making an admission that I did not think that he had in him, and I don't know when this started because he did say to us just moments ago, "I'm done with belts." He made an announcement, and I don't know how you can be if your body is changing in a way that makes your pants fall down.
The pants are changing, Dan. I'm not changing.
This is also, by the way, where pockets are not your friend. Like if you load up your pockets, they
I
really
hate
start
it,
working
yeah.
against you.
Yep.
You gotta be judicious with how much and what you can put in your
Very
pockets.
light.
Yeah.
I have not been able, and none of us have been able to talk.
What is wrong with these people? What do you mean stuff in your pockets or pulling down your pants?
Oh no! Wait! That video of me that they always play that makes it look like I'm chasing after an ice cream truck because I'm just sprinting. I am wearing shorts there that have the microphone in the pocket.
The pack, yeah.
The packet is so heavy. People think that I have to run holding up my shorts because the packet for the microphone that's so heavy so you could hear my heavy breathing makes it look like I run while holding up my shorts, which makes me look even less athletic than I am.
I had a phase when I was in college. It's actually when I was interning here that I took the drawstring out of my pajama pants and was using that as a belt on jeans. And it was
Billy,
so
what?
comfortable. So comfortable.
You were using the pajama drawstring on hard pants?
Yeah, it was a solid.
That's what I call jeans.
It was a solid
Hard
gray.
pants.
Yeah.
I used to use a shoelace. I'm with Billy on this.
See?
Hold on. A shoelace. Get out
yeah.
of here.
Tony, a second ago you just said, what is wrong with all of you?
Again, different phase, different time. Like this was probably around 2012, 2011, somewhere around there.
Were you guys riding the railroads? What are you, hobos? Did you have like your belongings in
It
a
was
It was
so
the vibe.
comfortable.
It was the vibe.
So comfortable.
Little bag attached to a stick.
It's like a waist hoodie.
a bindle?
Were you struggling with poverty? Could you not afford a belt?
you go to
Was it a
Braddock?
No, I went
was
to
it-
Killian,
was
stand
it-
up.
Was it a fashion style?
It was a fashion choice at the time.
What?
I'm actually sworn off belts. I don't wear any belts ever.
Thank you. Yeah.
It was a fashion choice at the time. It was a popular thing to wear a shoelace.
There's no way a shoelace is fitting around a pair of pants.
It did.
Well, not your waist, since you say that it's no longer a 34 or 35. I thought of Billy the other day because he is, more than anyone around here, reality show obsessed. And I had to stop on a television show simply because of the name of it, because I didn't think it could possibly be about what the name of it suggested that it was about. And the name of the show was Airplane Repo.
I'm in.
Sounds great.
And it is what you think it is. It's basically Dog the Bounty Hunter for retrieving, and this is the episode I was watching, in this case, a helicopter. It wasn't even an airplane, but I was still curious, and I would imagine that this show would become redundant after time. And it had a little bit of that South Beach towing feel to the show, where it
Bernice
felt
was a legend.
it felt like it might have been a little bit fake and stuff. But I'm actually curious as to how you go about repossessing in modern America in 2023, when you can absolutely scam your way into an airplane and then have it repossessed. I was actually curious whether Billy would follow that show or whether that's a one-time watch.
No, I'm looking it up right now.
So there's
4 seasons.
There's 4 seasons of this?
Yes.
How do I watch this? As someone very into both transportation and reality shows, this feels right up my alley.
Well, how into transportation would you say you are?
Good question.
Pretty into it.
Okay.
But that's all she's got on the matter. We're doing.
Seem very passionate about it.
that she doesn't have any more information on this.
On the topic of reality shows, there is a new reality show that's coming out on Fox that I just find completely staggering. The title is We Are Family. Have you guys heard of it?
Oh, yeah. It's another singing show.
It's another singing show, but this isn't, hey, let's discover an unknown singer like on The Voice. This isn't, hey, let's figure out who this person actually is, like The Masked Singer. This is people come up and then they sing, and then the judges have to guess, based on the way they're singing, who they're related to. Yes.
You have to guess based on the sound of their voice who they might be related to.
Yes.
They did a dating show based on this too, or what was that one?
It was like the celebrity, your third cousin would be on, and you have to guess who the celebrity is that they're related to.
What is up with this trend?
This is what I believe. I believe that these celebrities, these big-time singers and stuff, they have hangers-on. They have people who are mooches. And they say, you know what? You got to get off your ass and make your own money. I'm done bankrolling you. And the cousin or the third cousin or whatever says, you know what? I think I've got an idea. And this is how they generate their own income. They're still mooching off of the name of the celebrity, but the celebrity doesn't have to actually give them any money.
Right.
They're making their own money.
Big difference.
Stugotz, this is right up your alley.
This
Yes,
is so
it is.
Stugotz.
It was,
How did I not think of it?
there was a story that I saw recently that I think goes with Dan's reality show. I read that someone had recently purchased Elvis Presley's private plane. And the most interesting part about it is the private plane has been untouched for several decades. It's just been decaying in the middle of the desert. Someone paid $4.4 million for this plane. We have a photo of it right now. And the inside's all red velvet, and it's sort of a time capsule. You see this TV with turning knobs on it, and you almost buy it to see what kind of mystery. What did Elvis Presley hide inside of this plane?
Airplane rehab. Me and Billy go out to the desert, rehab this airplane, make it fly again.
Tony, somebody already bought it with it.
Right, but they need to rehab it, right?
It's in Plant City,
they're gonna.
Florida.
They definitely hire you.
Okay.
I think you should team up with the Property Brothers because
those hacks.
No, not hacks.
No,
hacks.
Amin's friend.
It's my friend now, Jonathan.
You think?
No, I know. I know. He reached out.
When Dan.
Wait, what?
Hold on a second.
After you met him just milling about the
After you
airplane
talked about
terminal?
meeting him.
After I thought about meeting him, he sent a message and he was like, how, he thought it was funny. And I was like, oh, thank you. And now me, him, and Zoe Deschanel, we're all going out.
You were making fun of them when you were talking about it.
Not of them. Not of them. I was making fun of the gate agent who said, and I quote, "Every second counts." Every second counts. Give me a break.
And now you are like Stugotz. You consider yourself friends with one of the Property Brothers
Best friends.
because they reached out via DM?
I learned from the best.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes, man. And I'm going to parlay it all the way into a show called Airplane
Rehab.
There it is.
That airplane is only going, the one that we just showed, for $4.4 million because it belongs to Elvis, right? It has no other.
Of course.
You don't think it has good
who else
bones?
would buy it?
I would pay $5 for a normal plane like that.
That plane does not look like something that has any possibility of flight or any possibility of
rehab.
Now.
Why has it just been there the whole time?
In present state, no. But once the airplane rehabbers are done.
Let Tony spend some time with that plane.
Exactly right.
It's the opportunity to turn it into a club, I think, or like a chic cafe.
Stugotz, you got a new business, buddy. Just sell things you say belong to Elvis.
Kentucky Fried Chicken's 2 for $5 wraps are back. And they're even introducing a new mac and cheese chicken wrap. Are you kidding me? Mac and cheese in a wrap? Two of my favorite things in the entire world. That is in addition to the classic and spicy slaw wraps. Creamy mac and cheese, a hand-breaded crispy chicken tender, and 3 cheese blend, all wrapped in a pillowy tortilla. God, do I love a pillowy tortilla. Order ahead on the app and cheer on tasty goodness with KFC's 2 for $5 wraps. It's finger looking good.
Zip up your tracksuits. Coming to Netflix, Squid Game The Challenge. It's following 456 players in pursuit of $4.56 million as they compete through a series of games inspired by the original show, plus surprising new additions. Their strategies, alliances, and character will be put to the test while competitors are eliminated around them. Tune in to the finale of Squid Game The Challenge and find out who takes home the $4.56 million. Now streaming only on Netflix.
Don Le Batard.
You getting started on the breakfast flan?
Oh, man, I've been singing a song to myself all morning long. Breakfast flan.
Stugotz.
Have you never heard the breakfast flan song?
No, hit me with it.
Okay. I wish I had some breakfast flan. Breakfast flan. Where can I find a breakfast like that?
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
It does not matter what it is that I say to Stugotz about the in-season tournament. Hey, you need to watch Rudy Gobert guarding Chet Holmgren and how much Chet Holmgren needs to learn. You have to watch this Sacramento Golden State game and the way that played out last night. Some of these games do
Golden State choked, huh?
have some. That's all you care about, right?
Yeah.
That you could come over here and just
In-season tournament and, must-win game for the Golden State Warriors, and they lost it.
Another reason for you to like this tournament, instead of keep saying you're bored by it, more opportunities to accuse people of choking.
That's a fair point by you. Mike and I were discussing, though, before the show started, that we think LeBron is using this as a way to catch Michael Jordan. He thinks if he wins a couple of these, he has as many championships as Michael Jordan. He's wrong.
No, for sure, because this is what's going to happen 25 years from now. whoever Stugotz is, the new version of Stugotz, is going to be saying, how many NBA Cups did Michael Jordan win? 0, that's how many. Completely dishonest with the reality.
Of course, there is one little plot hole in this. And it's not that Michael Jordan never had the opportunity to win this. It's that what if the yet-to-be-named corporate-sponsored in-season tournament is then named after Michael Jordan?
Checkmate.
The Michael Jordan in-season tournament.
The interesting thing about, first of all, you guys know what the script is, right? It's going to be Knicks versus Kings. Because it needs the two fan bases that are most entitled with no success to justify said entitlement. So it's like, sorry, Lakers and Celtics, no, get out of here. It's going to be Knicks and Kings, and whoever wins it will not shut the hell up about it forever, for all time.
It needs to be Knicks, though. I think more so than Kings, it needs to be Knicks. I think the Knicks fans will say, because Knicks fans will say, like, we don't care about it. And then care about it so much.
While caring,
much. They're going to be like, oh, but we won the in-season tournament. And that will give them hope through until they don't make the finals. And then they'll be like, well, but we have the... And Adam Silver needs a fan base who is going to care about this. And the Knicks fans are going to care so... It's so perfect. It's so perfect.
Is this banner-worthy?
For them? For the Knicks and the Kings?
For anyone else.
No, the Knicks they'll have a parade. I mean.
I'm telling you, right, Charlotte, what you just described, that's not a hypothetical. Outside this door right now, Taylor, our intrepid producer that works with Lucy, goes on the road with her, does all this great content. He sat there and he said, in-season tournament is dumb. But if the Knicks win, though, now I'm all in. And
that's what the banner should say.
This is dumb.
No, they're going to put it. You know, they're going to put it next to the Harry Styles and Billy Joel ones. They'll be like, it's. I know it's not. It's like that tier of banner.
They're putting it right next to Willis Reed. Who are you kidding?
The thing that I wanted to talk with Amin about, though, regarding the Warriors, Stugotz, because you've got now reports that Warrior players are annoyed that Andrew Wiggins is not in shape, and you've got a lot of people talking about, man, Klay Thompson, because he doesn't look very good, looks like he's lost confidence, also looks like he's unhappy because, and they're making extrapolations, his body has been broken, he's aging, and it looks like he's the one that's going to get left out on value, Stugotz, on cashing in all the things at the end. Hey, the company cares about me, right? The company cares about what I did. I helped build that arena. I made you a business that functions because for 10 years, we built a thing that Draymond got paid and Steph got paid and Durant got paid. And what about me? But his body's not working, and he's clearly diminished, and he's coming off of injury, and I could feel, and I mean, you could speak to how sensitive he is or isn't, because he has been cool and confident his entire career, but he would have reasons not to be now, Stugotz, and one of the worst things that can happen to not just an athlete, but an employee is to be lacking confidence, and now your employer seems to lack confidence in you, too.
Right, but he did so much good for that franchise, so much winning for that franchise. And I'm asking, I'm not saying that I would do this, but I am asking you. Would you take care of that guy at the end of his career? Would you give him a kiss at the end of the career?
The reason that I want to talk to Amin about this is because I don't think that you run your businesses on the emotion fuel. You do take the customer's money in the emotion business that way, but Klay Thompson right now is going to get left out in the musical chairs, as far as I can tell. I mean, I think it would be dumb for them to reward the loyalty, even though I always want loyalty rewarded.
The problem is there is ripple effects, right? It's not just, hey, we can just say, hey, Klay, you don't have it anymore. Good luck. And then Steph and Draymond will show up to work happy and okay with it. I remember when Anderson Varejao, I believe, got cut. Like, that impacted Klay tremendously in a way that they didn't expect. That it turns out like that was his best friend on the road. And him getting cut, a guy who barely plays, into the bench, impacted one of their best players at the time. And so now, years later, it's Klay. If something happens to Klay, I think that would impact people on the team that aren't suffering right now.
So you think they'll give him money based on the feelings of his teammates?
It depends because it's not a binary, right? It's how much money. This much money, okay, it's worth it. This much money, max, absolutely not.
Do you understand those, Stugotz, when we talk about how hard it is to keep some of these things together? To me, it's weird, right, that Durant would even leave there. Hey, it was so easy for you guys. You guys were winning. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that great? We don't know what the internal pressures are, but clearly there's something about that intensity from game to game and day to day that fries people, and they're at the end of this run.
Right. Like, this is the part where I think every time people get confused, I'm like, look around. Which one of these things ever lasts? It's so hard to continue to do it because it's what Pat Riley talked about years ago, the disease of me. You're constantly fighting all of these pressures, both internal and external, that make it impossible for everyone to say, let's just come back and do exactly what we did the last time. Beyond the fact that, like, hey, the ball might bounce this way, we might not get this call, this guy might get hurt, and that's why we didn't win. Even if everything was perfect, people don't want to do the same thing. They say, I sacrificed it, now it's my turn, right? And then vice versa. What's happening now is, okay, your turn is over, and Klay Thompson's like, no, it's not. And so you see him bristling against reporters, where they say, hey, like, do you think there's some goodwill that's bought because of what you've done? And he sneers at that, like, oh, so now I got goodwill, that's why I'm playing?
Well, he still thinks he can play.
Of course he does.
But he's not as good.
But in his mind, that's not that far off.
I don't know if we're realizing it, but I'm excluding like the Celtics from way before my time.
18.
Is this the longest one of these cores have been together?
They are the longest tenured team. Like when you talk about guys who have been with one team the longest, Lillard was at the top of the list, and it was a bunch of Warriors.
I know the Spurs unit was together for a while, but I think in terms of like they're over. Close to 13 years with these guys.
Yeah. Well, the Spurs, like Tony Parker was drafted in 2003, and that was the year both him and Tony Parker was drafted in 2001, and him and Manu and Tim won in 2003. So that went for 15 years, I want to say. Like they're
with those three as the core.
That's the blueprint.
Right.
But again, they evolved. All three of those guys went through a transformation of, I can't do it the way I was doing it when we were winning before. Tim was like, okay, I've got to be more of just a defensive guy and focus on that end. Manu was like, okay, I'll come off the bench. Tony, okay, I'll reduce. And luckily for them, they had Kawhi Leonard to ascend and take them to that last championship.
I don't know how it's going to end, but I don't think it's going to end quietly. You know, it's like not with a bang, but with a whimper. It's not going to be with a whimper, but with a bang. I think you have Draymond, you know, his emotional response to these things. Klay, there's a lot of emotion here, and there's a lot of emotion they're showing. When Klay said, what, you want me to bench me? It's like, oh, okay, this is a touch. Like, we're hitting a bunch of nerves here, and I don't see how you can hit that many nerves on that many different people and have it be like, okay, one guy's gone, that's fine. Like I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know how practically that works, but it seems like it's more of a powder keg situation.
So if you even think about the Bulls, the last dance, we keep talking about six championships. The reality is it wasn't 6 championships. It was 3 championships with Mike and Scotty and a bunch of guys.
It was 6
Phil.
for Mike and Scotty, though.
Yes.
Right.
Mike, Scotty, and Phil.
Yes.
But then, like, the other 3 champions were completely different people.
Yes.
Steve Kerr, Randy Brown, Jud Buechler, Dennis Rodman. None of those guys were around for the first 3.
Well, the core for the first 3 included Horace Grant.
Yeah.
The second 3 was Rodman.
Right. But even, like, the supporting characters, right? Like, Kevon Looney hasn't been there the entire time, but he's been there long enough. So when you have this many people together that long, at some point, like, it has to flame out. It cannot continue.
It's not just that. When you say this many people there that long, you saw how quickly Durant got tired of Draymond. Draymond, under these conditions, these particular conditions, you got your money. We paid you after you punched Jordan Poole. You turned Jordan Poole, a champion, into an echoing joke.
Well,
we all watched Jordan Poole win a championship. Man,
I love the algorithm that I'm on IG.
Man. All I get is Jordan Poole.
It's old wrestling videos and Jordan Poole.
All I get
dig it.
Jordan Poole and the
hats I can wear in
Wizards being the most chaotic, reckless team in the NBA.
You got him as like this General Patton champion. serious. I do things the right way. And then I was punched by Draymond Green, and my life turned into shambles.
That's his villain origin story.
Yeah. That's not how he was. This is who he was. They just had him behind closed doors, and now the doors are open.
You say that, but you get a whiff of the inner circle in a way. Man, you know how the gloss up that people get when we start covering them in championships? Jordan Poole's reputation was someone that you could trust in the finals. Like, you could say it was a clown show in basketball, but a lot of people would have been willing to, a lot of people watching Jordan Poole would have been willing to give him money.
I always viewed Jordan Poole as a guy who was just lucky to play with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, to be honest with you. I never thought of him as a guy that I could trust in the finals.
I think Draymond would agree with you.
All right, but what did you think of Andrew Wiggins? You thought the same thing?
A guy who was lucky to play with Steph and Klay and Draymond Green.
Well, but his reputation has changed. Andrew Wiggins changed his reputation
by winning. Yes.
Yeah, but winning with them, you're saying that he's not responsible for it, but he changed. Andrew Wiggins arrived there as Jordan Poole.
Well, Dan, it's what I've been saying about Kevin Durant forever. The Warriors won before Durant got there. Durant was a luxury. They won after he got there, but they also won before he got there and were the best team in NBA history.
Stugotz, shot for your life. Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole.
Oh, wow. Those are my only two choices.
Funeral arrangements.
Yes. I am dead.
For your life.
I think Wiggins gets it off before the shot clock expires, so I'm going with him. Hey, it's Mike. Hut, hut, whistles, penalty flags, touchdowns, rah-rah. Love all that stuff about football season, but you know what I love the best about football season? It's camaraderie I get when I toast the beautiful white can that holds the key to making football amazing. I'm talking, of course, about Miller Lite. I make it Miller time every time it's football time, and I'm never left disappointed because it is the perfect beer to pair with our national obsession. From kickoff to the final whistle, you just can't go wrong with a Miller Lite in your hand. It's the only light beer with a taste worthy of football. What's the point of having a beer if it doesn't taste like, well, beer? Thankfully, Miller Lite checks all the flavor boxes, and it's only got 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce serving. This season, do what I do. Crack open a light beer that hits your taste buds so hard, you feel it in your heart. And you can scream touchdown and hoorah and all that stuff. Make it Miller time all season long. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.